Hi everyone, Michelle Ford, Senior Editor for SLR Lounge here. In this episode, we're going to be discussing prime lenses versus zoom lenses. Before we dive into this question, let's first cover what is a prime lens and what is a zoom lens. Prime lenses are lenses that have one fixed focal length. So with this lens attached to my camera, I can't zoom in or out from my subject. I would physically have to step in closer or farther from my subject to get it to fill the frame. A zoom lens, on the other hand, is a lens that has a range of focal lengths, and when I have it attached to my camera, I can just turn the barrel and that'll zoom in and out from the subject depending on the range of my lens. So why would you pick one over the other? One of the biggest arguments for prime lenses is the quality of the glass. A good prime lens not only gets you sharper images, generally it also affords you faster glass. By that I mean it's got a better aperture range, which allows you more room to shoot in lower light. Another major reason people buy prime lenses, it's just their size and weight. It's got less moving parts, simpler construction, so that makes them significantly smaller and lighter than a zoom lens. The third biggest reason people like prime lenses is their price. There's some excellent prime lenses for as low as $100. Of course, there's some very expensive ones too, but if you're a photographer that doesn't need a wide range of focal lengths, you can have some really great glass with a reasonable budget. Canon, for one, they've got this 50mm 1.8 prime for $100, and it's really well known in the industry as just a great value lens. That said, if you're a wedding photographer, you might want a wider range of focal lengths, in which case zoom lenses might be the right path for you. When I was shopping for lenses, the number one reason for me to buy a zoom lens was exactly that. I had a huge range of focal lengths just by buying 3 lenses. I had the 1635, the 2470, and the 7200. And if all I had was those 3, I'd be more than set to go shoot any wedding. It's also very convenient to be able to change my perspective by zooming in and out with a zoom lens. If I wanted to, I could have 2 camera bodies, each with a zoom lens attached, and I wouldn't even have to worry about changing lenses in between shots. Now, okay, you might think that's lazy and maybe less creative, but honestly, it's faster than changing lenses for me. And when my subject is children, or maybe the wedding ceremony, when they're doing the processional and they're coming to you, you just don't always have the time or the luxury to switch lenses. And if you're in a dusty location like a beach or a desert, changing lenses isn't even desirable. Don't forget that when you're rushing, changing lenses can be hazardous, as you're prone to drop a lens in the process. Speaking of fast, and now I'm back to apertures again, these 3 zoom lenses, they actually are pretty fast lenses. Zoom lenses these days have great quality glass, they perform really well in low light, and in some instances even include image stabilization features. Notice the huge difference in size, and by comparison the weight too, between the prime lenses and the zoom lenses. These guys can be a pretty hefty workout. By the end of a long day, I get kind of tired. So whenever I'm in a predictable situation, I'll switch over to a prime lens just to give my arms a break. Now, the doozy is that with this much convenience, quality, and range, price is definitely an issue. So when you buy these 3 lenses right here, I'm looking at about a $6,000 investment, give or take. And if I wanted to buy prime lenses to cover that range, I might be able to get away with spending half of that. So that's the pros and cons for each. And really, it just boils down to image quality, weight, size, convenience, price, and preference. I started in the zoom department because I wanted all my bases covered since I shot weddings. And then as I started to focus on different types of shoots like portraits, I started to refine my collection by adding primes. These days when I do a family shoot outdoors, I'll carry my 2470 and the 7200. And if I shoot glamour and boudoir, I probably have my 50, 85, and 135. And if I'm trying to lay low, travel light, shoot an outdoor engagement session, I'll sport the 2470 and maybe the 135. And when I'm out at a wedding, I'll bring it all, because that's how I roll. One thing to remember, lenses are a long-term investment than camera bodies. So take your time deciding what to buy. Do your homework on the glass, especially the ones that you're interested in. Rent it, borrow it a couple times. Just make sure that it really is a useful purchase for you. I've done my share of buyer's remorse, and really that's not fun. It's also a very expensive mistake. So until next time everyone, I hope that helped you. This is Michelle Ford for SLR Lounge.